what is normally accepted as doctrine and truth, heresies. Envy. It's a resentment toward another person that has a perceived advantage, and you don't like that they have that. And also, when a person sets their mind on envy, they believe that that should be theirs. Murder, drunkenness, rivalries, wild parties, rivalries, and the like of which I tell you beforehand, just as I told you in time past, that those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. The mind set on the flesh. Go back now to Romans chapter 8. For those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh. This is what they feed on. But those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. How is it that today in our society, people who have religious backgrounds can so violate God's law? They have a religious background, they may even attend church, but they don't have much input about the Bible. Consequently, they're getting their input primarily through the media, the TV, or through the universities, or whatever the philosophy may be, the books that they read. And these are philosophies that have their mindset according to the flesh. To set one's mind on the flesh, you have to set your emotions on it as well. And one of the things you will not find oftentimes with these individuals that are set on according to the world's viewpoint, you don't find much humility. It's either my way or the highway. They accept the values of the world. They do not accept the values of the Spirit of God. He goes on to say, for to be carnally minded is death. And this is where it all is. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God. We're going to leave it at verse 6, but let me use an illustration. Many years ago, there was a woman during the 70s and 80s, she was more pronounced, but she single-handedly was able to remove prayer from school. Madeline O'Hara. Do you remember that name? That sound familiar? And I was watching some of the interviews by her, and I'll tell you, that was a vile, abusive, profane woman. Her conversation, speech now was so laced with profanity, the interviewer had to stop. And they were talking to this interviewer, this woman, this journalist that was interviewing this woman, Madeline O'Hara, and had to say, hey, you got to clean this up. You want to get your point across, you can't keep using that word over and over and over again. She was a vile, abusive, hateful woman. What a surprise. Let's take God out of the equation here, and then whatever you think is right becomes your reality. She is in charge of the American Atheist Association. No. The Bible says, for to be carnally minded is death. To be spiritually minded is life and peace. But let's look at that first half. To be carnally minded is death. This interview goes on to say that she had a man that worked with her, and a man by the name of Waters, and they had a falling out. He left the organization, and she wrote a very vitriolic piece of an article in their publication, implying and some very naughty things, I'll put it that way. Well, this man read that article, and he said, I'm going to kill this woman one day. Well, lo and behold, about 5-6 years later, O'Hara, her son, and her granddaughter ended up missing, gone. And the one surviving son, who by the way became a Christian, the one surviving son reported, hey, my mother's missing. Well, the police had pursued it first until there was a body floating in a river down in Houston. And this is quite macabre, but he had been dismembered in a very unkind way. So they wouldn't be able to identify him. But they had suspicion that a journalist, an investigative journalist, who was looking into this disappearance of her, said to the police, you ought to test this body and draw some blood and test it against this person here who is a relative of who I think this is. And sure enough, they did. They were able to identify that this was a co-conspirator of this man that hated O'Hara. Long story short, he was the one that killed all three of them. And one of the ways they were able to identify her body in a shallow grave is that she had a hip implant years before, and they identified the model number, and sure enough, that's what the type of hip implant that she had, very same model. Now, you cannot, this is an extreme example, but you cannot live a profane life without it eventually ending up not only physically dead, but worse than that, cast into the lake of fire, spiritually dead forever. The Bible's real clear. Christians come in and sometimes, and I've counseled some, and say, I have no peace in my life, and all the wheels on the wagon have come off, and my life is in shambles. Well, the reason why is, number one, you can ask them, how often do you read your Bible? Not very often. Number two, do you have a set time to pray during the day? I do pray, yes, but I'm so busy, and they'll go right down the line here, and there's a total neglect of the things spiritual. Their mind are not set on the things of God, it's just not. Consequently, they're experiencing great heartache. So the way to argue with this is this way: take the effect. Here's the effect. I have no peace, I have no love, I have no joy. Take the effect and argue back to the cause. And what's happened in many lives of Christians is that if this is the effect down here, the reason why is the cause, because your mind is set on the things of God. It was Charles Haddon Spurgeon that said this: a person, a Bible that's falling apart is owned by an individual whose life isn't. It's a good statement. We are in a cataclysmic war, and it's philosophical and it's spiritual. And people are buying doctrine in our churches, and they're buying philosophies in the world that are destroying them. There is no peace. There is no life. So they take their lives. Take it. Because there's no hope. And they take drugs because they see no purpose. And they sit there and their lives become just one rambling wreck after another. So much so that they're sleeping on the porch of their parents' house where the dogs sleep because they so abused their parents that their parents said, I can't help you anymore, you've got to figure this out yourself, and forced them to a homeless shelter. Now, this ends in a positive note. It's kind of longer than I thought, because note what it says. But to be spiritually minded, verse 6, is life and peace. The individual, God says, I will honor you. If you will do it my way, you are going to find life and peace. The amount of barbiturates that are sold and drug-related chemicals so that people can have a night's rest and have peace of mind is phenomenal. All we have here through the Spirit of God is that I can have peace in the midst of a storm, and that peace is through Jesus Christ. And as we set our minds, and we talk about a real challenge, throughout your workday, it is a challenge to do your job and not allow it to wander in the areas that it shouldn't be wandering. To set that mind on Christ, meet your responsibility, and focus constantly on being yielded to that Spirit that dwells within. If you want the sanctified process to be at work in your life, Paul is saying, set your mind on the things of God and let that be your focus. Remember what Jesus says, hatred and adultery and all that stems from the heart. So you've got to take your mind and set them on the things of God. And God will sanctify you over a period of time. The result will be peace and life. As some of you know, I've gone through a very intense time of testing within the last year. And I attempted at that time to do some things that were contrary to God's law. But let me say to you, by the grace of God, that wasn't the case. And looking back on it, I can say, thank God I have peace about my response. And let me say, that can be done, even though it's intensely difficult at times. Do it God's way and you'll get God's result. So let me read to you these words. I like this. It's a quote. To run and work, the law commands, yet gives me neither feet nor hands. But better news the gospel brings, it bids me fly and gives me wings. Now that's excellent in summarizing what we've been saying. I'll read it again. To run and work, the law commands, yet gives me neither feet nor hands. But better news the gospel brings, it bids me fly and gives me wings. Amen and amen. The Spirit now dwells within. We no longer are under the law of sin. We no longer are serving our sentence. We have a new master from within, and he brings us life and peace and exhorts you and I to keep our minds stayed on Christ. A law is a set pattern of how things happen. It's a rule. The law of gravity deems that a heavy slab of concrete will remain where it is placed. The sidewalk stays in place. But we've all seen a sidewalk that is heaved up and twisted because once a small acorn fell between the slabs of the sidewalk and now has grown into a massive oak tree where the roots are powerful enough to move great weights. Now that's what we have here. We were slaves to sin, and now the Spirit dwells within, and there's a greater power living in our lives. Just like the plane that stays stationary until it starts to move, one law keeps it on the ground. The law of aerodynamics, once it starts to move, takes over, and now it flies, and it can fly you clear to Hawaii and beyond. And everything I've said, I'll put it this way. That which dwells within shall be seen without. Okay? The Spirit of God. That which dwells within will be seen without. The gospel bids me fly and gives me wings. Amen and amen. Lord, we love you.